Meaning that Golus is a state of spiritual pregnancy, ibur, in terms of the fetus not functioning in an orderly way, the head between the knees and so on. And what happens is that the koiches and the conscious faculties don't disappear, they withdraw deep into the nefesh, the source of it all. Where there, it's basically like a potential state there. The faculties of seichel, etc. That's how they withdraw. So we're talking about how things are l'mayla. So Golus is elikus is not revealed in the world. So therefore, the madregas of Chacham bin Adas, etc., l'mayla, all withdraw to the source in a matzav of Golus, and that's a place, therefore, where Klippa can get nourished because it's a makivdika level. And there's no distinction there between darkness and light. It's completely transcendent. And therefore, they can get a yanika. So, Bezemetur, that's continuing the text. This is basically quoting from the Teres of the Mittel Rebbe. So, he brings the Bezemetur, it's Gambing in the Gidel Moshe Bebeis Parai. This explains Moshe's growing up in Parai's house. The child grew up and was brought to the daughter of Parah, and she adopted him. Since they knew that he was a Jewish child, was the pasuk says, as she said, she declared that this is a Jewish child. Why weren't they afraid of him? As they were fearful of all Jewish children, which is why Parah decreed that every child that's born should be cast into the Nile. Why aren't they afraid of Moshe Rabbeinu? They're actually bringing him up there, providing for him. The answer is, that's unique to Moshe Rabbeinu's madrega. The pasuk says she called him Moshe. Why? And she said, I drew him from the water. Meaning, Moshe, what is the source from which she drew him? Where does the Neshama emerge from? These are the supernal waters. And what's that? This is the water, as it were, metaphorically speaking, that is beyond the whole system of ishtalshalos. Higher than the world. There's the water, there's the water above the firmament and the water below the rikiya. That's begashmius, and this is reflected baruchnis, these dargas. The Mayim Elyonim means a madrege which is higher than ishtalshalos, and therefore they weren't afraid of him. They wanted to siphon. They wanted to get nourished from this darge. God lo, but base para they bring him up there because they thought this is not conscious, super conscious. It will be good for them because of him. Because his madrege is my million, to be able to get nourishment from this transcendent level that completely tolerates them. Why? Because their dark and light are equal. So that's what he says in the Mittel Rebbe. In the Tlas Kolilon Goy Tlas, the Golus Mitzrayim, the fact that the Mittel Rebbe connects and talks about Chabad being, as we defined it earlier, the three incorporated within the three means that the Chabad is incorporated within Chagas and the Chagas within Nehi. That's the state of Golus. Again, the child all folded up. So the fact that he connects that Legidl Moshe Bebeis Parai with the Indian that Moshe growing up in Parai's house, because they wanted to get Yanika from the source of his neshama, which is Kedusha. B'chinas hamakiv the kedusha, which is a transcendent, obviously holy, divine level. Mashma shegam in Dtlas Kolilon goy tlas. So this inyan that we describe the goal state. Kol shirim b'chinas hamakif in the kedusha. It's connected to makif in the kedusha. So therefore, there has to be some maila to golos if it's connected with. We see from the mind of the Mittel Rebbe connects the two ideas. So obviously there's a connection, and therefore a maila b'tzorich lovim ma inyan v'maila b'zeh. What's the inyan and the maila in the Chabad invested in Chagas and so on, where things are not manifested in an orderly, manifested way? What's the maila? Clear? Question? Yeah. So to understand all this, v'yesh lahatim tchilo amavu b'mayim Admo Razokim. We have to first preface a maamar of the Alter Rebbe, which was not published at this time, and subsequently it was. The Rebbe is now sharing it. Lahovin inyan igulim v'yoshe, to understand the madregas which are described as circles, and then understand a gilul likus that described as circular, and the inyan of Yoshe, a gilul likus that described as straight. Where is this found? In brackets, the bichul maamar Admo Razokim, ksaviat kodesh Admo Emtzoi. This is, which the Rebbe just got, I don't know the story here, but it's a memorim of the Alter Rebbe written in Ksaviat Kodesh of the Mittel Rebbe, and moreover, B'toisvus HaGoyis HaOros, with notes and HaOros, with editing and notes, and biyurim of the Tzemach Tzedek al Gilyon, on the side of the page, or bein hashitin, and notes of the Tzemach Tzedek also between the lines. So this is Ksaviat Kodesh of the Mittel Rebbe and the Tzemach Tzedek, and as maamar of the Alter Rebbe. So what does he say there? He brings in the order that was subsequently published in Sefer Maamorim Tov Kuf Samach Beis, was published years later. So Sheyuvin's so what's thinking of Igulim in Yoshe, circular revelation, straight revelation. Understand this. By understanding the difference between the Yifanim and the Srafim, two levels of Malachim. We find the language describing them, on the one hand, the Yifanim circles, and the Srafim Yoshe. Just to read to you, in the verse Yecheskel, I mean, you're not going to understand anything about it. Everything is based on it. Yecheskel and Yeshaya both saw the Merkava El Yoina, the divine chariot, and so on. Yecheskel's description is very elaborate, and Yeshaya is very brief. So the famous Gemara, the Gemara says that whatever saw the surface, which is greater, Yecheskel. The Gemara says no. Everything Yecheskel describes, Yeshaya Navi saw. So why doesn't he describe it? The famous Gemara Chagiga, like the difference between a villager who sees the king and a city dweller who sees the king. So the city dweller is Yeshaya. So when he sees the king appearing, not such a spilers, I mean, he's used to it, he's familiar. But the village dweller who sees the king revealed to the people, so it's with great excitement. And if he describes every detail, Yeshaya doesn't, because it's all familiar. But they say different things a little bit. We're going to see now, because they describe in different malachim. So just to give you a sense of Nevuos Yecheskel, which we say, this is the Haftarah of Shavuos, could be even of Yisrael too. Interesting that the Nevuah is on the 5th day of the 4th month. What's the 4th month? It depends. If it's you're starting from Nisan, it's Tammuz, and from Tishrei, it's Tevis. The 5th day, hey Tevis. So the 5th month of the 5th of the month of the 4th month, she has this whole Nevuah. Yeah. Let's just read it, get a sense. He describes where he was standing, Nahar Kavod, and Hashem appeared to him. Then I saw, and behold, a storm, Ruach Sa'ara, was coming from the north, a huge cloud, and a flaming fire with the brightness around it from its midst. This is actually describing Klippa. And the Noiga Leisaviv, that's Klippas Noiga. This is all reference to Gimel Klippas Atmeyes and Klippas Noiga. And then I saw, the translation doesn't give us anything, but I just want to get to the words he's going to get to in a second. So just to read it. A huge cloud and a flaming fire with the brightness around it, and from its midst, it was like the color of the chashmal. Doesn't even translate that. It's an angel, it's a malach. From the midst of the fire, and from its midst was the likeness of 4 living beings. And this is their appearance, that the likeness of a man, the mus adam, each one had 4 faces, each one had 4 wings, and their legs were straight legs, and the soles of their feet were like round foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished copper. We'll get to the pasuk is referring to. The wings were joined to another, and there was a likeness of the face of a lion, face of an ox, of an eagle. But pasuk is that he brings it to Zion, and the likeness of living appearance like fiery coals. And here's the pasuk. And I saw the living beings, the chayis, and behold, v'nei ofen echad ba'aretz eitzel hachayis la'arba panov pasuk tezayin. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like the appearance of crystal. Okay, so he describes here wheels, Marei Ifanim. So the Ifanim, which is the name of angels, are described as wheels. That's what? Circular. And I saw their appearance and their deeds, a circle within a circle. So their appearance is like a circle, the which goes around and prostrates before Hashem. That's a description of what are the Ifanim. This is Yeshaya. Yeshaya describes the Seraphim, and how does he describe the Seraphim? Seraphim oimdim. They're standing. Oimdim imaloi, the pasuk says. Yeah. So they are standing. They're not going around. So this invokes the imagery of what? Of straight, not circle. Ella Sheifanim Musrafim. So Ifanim in Serafim, this is the divine revelation, the way it doesn't say Dishtal Shalos. He's going to explain all this, round and straight. But then there's the source of it all, high than Dishtal Shalos. We'll understand the union of the Gulim, their source. They don't come in a vacuum, they devolve from a divine source above them. And what is that? The very beginnings of Ishtalshalos, namely, P'chinas HaKav, right? So we're all familiar what the Kav means. Creation begins with the beginning. This is all from the Eitz. In the beginning, the infinite light filled all space, and then Silik, as Eira Gadol El Atzad, this is the Tzimtzum. Hashem removed, this is the language, the very deceptively simple language. He removed his great light to the side, and then was Mamshech HaKav, a line of godliness in the Makom Ponoi, in this quote unquote empty space. So this is the beginning of Ishtalshul. It says a line means graded, higher, lower, upper, lower. This is what the Tzimtzum is given rise to. So the Kav, the very beginning, the Kav at the highest level where it all begins, that's the source of Yosher, of straight lines, which means higher and lower. This is the union of the Seraphim. What's the eagle? Or rather, what's the Ifanim? And the great circle that precedes the tzimtzum, that's how it's described. He removed his light, leaving this empty space surrounded by the great light. That's the Ein Sof. The Eagle HaGodol, the great circle, Lifnei HaTzimtzum. This is the source of round revelation, whatever that means. It goes through the kav, but it comes down in a round way. Why? Because it's rooted where? In the kav carries it. But the kav is rooted in the great circle, the eagle, that from where it emerges. Okay, this is all just geography, physical, simple. And that is the source of the Ifanim. In summary, you tell me, no, so the Srafim, the source is what? The Kav, and the Ifanim, the source is the Eagle HaGodol Lifnei HaTzimtzum.
Sorry, can you translate Yefanim and the other? What is Yefanim?
Wheels.
Oh.
And Srafim, Seraphim in English, they don't translate it. Comes from the word burn. They burn up in their longing and their love for Hashem. We'll see. He's going to explain the Srafim and the Ifanim. And why are we talking about them? Why are we talking about them? We're not Srafim, we're not Ifanim. We're not angels, I don't think. So why are we learning about this?
To understand the eagle and
Why do you? We're going to daven. We're going to daven Shachar soon.
okay.
The whole Birchas Krishma is the description of the avoid of the Sof and the Ifanim, which is the meditation we need to understand in order to what? It's all achana for what? For Krishma. What?
To understand how much greater.
Yeah, just with that, you're going to detail, but just all hachana to v'hafta, to loving God. It's all a meditation, and then avas elam. It's all a meditation to lead to love of Hashem. So the subject is pardon?
Necessary.
Yeah. So let's learn about it. What level, what world are the Seraphim? Elam Abriya. What's Elam Abriya? Sheboy Meir Pchinas HaMoichin. Elam Abriya is where the divine intellect is manifest. The Eima Ilah Mekaner B'Krusaya. The Zohar says the supernal mother, which is a reference to Bina, rests on the divan, or throne. A throne, and where's that? That's Elam Abriya. Elam Abriya is the Kisei HaKoved. Atzilus is the one that sits upon the throne, as it were, the Admo Elyon. That's Atzilus. There's no Malachim in Atzilus. Revelation is far too great. That's where godliness is manifest, purely the 10 Sfiras in its purest form. But then the 10 Sfiras, through the process of Tzimtzum, manifest in the Olamas, the lower Olamas. And even though there's 10 Sfiras, Elam Abriya, but what dominates Elam Abriya is Bina. In simple language, what's Elam Abriya? Elam Abriya is a very deep understanding of godliness. But whose understanding? Somebody else, Malach and Neshama. So that's the state of the Seraphim, a deep understanding of the truth of the Eibishter, Yichudi Lo, and so on. They understand this. So there, Avodah of Hashem is grasping godliness, apprehending it in Seichel, and through their understanding, this gives rise to a fiery love engendered by the deep understanding. Chagas, Chesed, Gvur, Tiferes, Ava, Kerish, Be'esh. A love like flames of fire, that's Chesed. And then Gvura, awe of God, and then tiferes, which means the appreciation of the beauty of God. And because they have this great love and longing for godliness, they're always and constantly attached, the h'tשכ, without interruption, through their avodah of the songs and the praise that they constantly offer to Hashem. The song and their praise, that's the way they attach themselves, in brackets, it's a result of the love. So it starts in their minds, as it were, then the heart, and then their mouth, and they sing. This is critical, these three stages. Seichel, midas, and then their songs of praise. So the songs of praise, which comes after the love, that's the three lower levels. Nehi, Netzach Yisoid. Netzach Yisoid is already the expression of self as we engage outside of us. So for the Malachim, what's the Netzach Yisoid? It's their songs and praise to Hashem. Like an emotional of a person, the person thinks in his mind about the virtue of someone that he loves. And he thinks about this person. And he's thinking about the milas, how wonderful they are. So what's the result of thinking about the milas of this beloved person? So this is the heart is stirred with feelings of love. When you think about your loved one, and think about their milas, so this stirs the heart. And then, it doesn't stop in the heart. Then you want to go. If you want to do things for your beloved one, you'll go places. Or you'll give money, whatever, gifts, and the like, and you'll constantly be doing this, doing favors, chesed, and acts of chesed and acts of kindness, and so on. Why? Because you love the person, right? Push it, clear, yeah. That's why now we're going to understand why strafim are called upright, straight, because there's a flow chart, seichel, then to midas, and then to their expressions of attachment, the songs and praise. Yeah, Shabbat say the their whole avoid is orderly. And there's the higher levels, and then it proceeds downwards to the lower levels. In terms of what the nefesh is expressing, or not, they're not nefesh, but the malachim. In terms of the faculties that they're expressing, it starts with the higher faculties, Chabad, then Chagas, then the emotional faculties are stirred, and then Chagas, then the and then they open their mouths, as it were, and sing songs of praise. It's a descent. It's a descent. Why is it a descent? Because when they're appreciating and they're not singing, they're just now being misbeinen. So then, godliness is revealed. They're thinking about godliness. They're not in the way, as it were. The further down you go, it's more I love you, and therefore I sing for you. It's all the self then is expressive as you go down the line. But in the original, you're wonderful, it's you. That's what the course is revealed. And the Moshe just gave it to the person. It's not enough to have it in your head. You got to go and buy the gift and do for your beloved. But the fact is, where is the beloved revealed with you? It's when you're thinking about the person. Then you're busy with your feeling, and you're busy with going, driving, buying, whatever it is. So that's a descent from, that's you, a descent from the place where your beloved is revealed in you. That's when you're thinking about the person. So it's a descent. Push it from Chabad to Midas down to behavior. It's a descent. Chabad is higher than Midas, and Midas is higher than behavior. High in what sense? Not speaking importance. Not speaking importance. If it remains in the head and theory, and you don't do anything about it, that it's a crime. Most thing is Maisa B'Peil. act lovingly, say those loving words, and go and get the gift that she likes, or do what you need to do. But in that act itself, the physical act itself is much less expressive within you of her, your experience, than when you're thinking about it. Oh yeah, you're busy with the act. You're busy with making the scrambled eggs, whatever it is.
So basically, in machshava, in seichel and midas, you're more busy with yourself, and when in machshava dibur ma'aseh, you're more busy with the other.
No. But we're saying the opposite.
Is that what you're saying? The opposite.
No, saying the opposite. You're saying in your seichel, that's where the other is revealed, is meir b'golui. And as you go down and implement it, then the self, my feelings and my actions. In your mind,
or you can say it reverse. While you're in seichel, or you can say it reverse. While in seichel, you're busy with yourself. You're thinking about somebody else, but you're experiencing it.
We're not speaking the reverse now. We're speaking this mila.
Okay.
There is also, as I said before, there's also the mila of a ma'aseh ha'ikar, because that's when that person really benefits. What are they benefiting from you that in your head is filled with, and your heart is filled with love of them? They don't get anything. So that's the mile of action. But we're talking about where the inyan is meir begoli. They are meir begoli. Where is that? With the Eibishter, maybe it's easy to understand with the God, but it's the same motion. Where is the person revealed in this act of the eggs? You're going in the car to buy the gift? No. Where you want to discover the person. Let's see if we could look into you. You're transparent, we can see. So where am I going to see the person, what you're doing? Your heart, I see a little bit more. I go into your head, and I see what you appreciate, and what you know. Oh, I see the person there. Is that clear? Is this clear or not? So likewise, the Serafim, and that's how Seichel works. True Seichel is the objective appreciation of the other. That's what the other is made. So if I want to know the person that you love, what am I going to look at? What you do? Don't tell me anything about that. Look into your heart a little more. If I can look into your head and see what you're thinking, now you know the person. Yeah? All right. So that's in Rabbi Moishe. So in the words of the Maamar, I know second line again. Shabo b'seid. So the whole relationship is in an orderly way. Yes, by Milo Mata, it's higher and then lower. The revelation of the other diminishes as we go down from Chabad to Chagas, and Chagas to Nehi to behavior. Again, a simple motion. You love somebody. Now, I want to know this person that you love. Where am I going to, what I want to pick? Your brain. I understand what are you seeing there? I look at all day the things you're doing. Doesn't tell me anything about them. Very little. You're running to do a favor. You gave him a check of money, where you went to pick up the groceries. Doesn't tell me anything about the person. It's a tremendous act of chesed. You cleaned the whole house. You bade them put the kids to bed. Fantastic, but I don't know her still. In this Maisa. The Maila is, of course, she's got all these things, but I'm not speaking the Maila of Maisa B'Pearl now. That'll come. But where is the person revealed, the object of your love? It's not in the action, it's in your heart. But mostly, if I want to know this person, I'm into your head. So where's Elikus revealed, the truth of Elikus? The Eibush is revealed in this Havana, in the Seichel of the Serafim, or the Yidus being Mizboinen. And then we take that truth and I bring it down to my heart and my behavior. I do for the Eibush. But you're not seeing who God is in those actions, per se. Yeah? So because looking at the Seichel, Meir Etzel, I'm talking about the Serafim now. So by them is Meir Ha'ed. Godliness is revealed there, the truth of the Eibush, their understanding of it. But then when they start getting moved and the excited love, there the truth of the Eibishter is now concealed and not so illuminated to some degree. Why? Because what's taking over the experience now is my love. Clear? And then in the actual active kindness, what's their active love? Their songs and praise. They're saying words. Yeah? There, the revelation of Hashem is even less evident in their actual praise. We're clear? Yeah. So this is the Serafim, this is the Avodah of Yosher. But the Ifanim ain't the Mebchina Seidev Adraga. They're circles. They don't have this whole process. So what's the Avodah? Ve'im behem Ma'ilo Mata. A circle doesn't have high and low, up and down. So what is their Avodah? In the Ifanim, hey, Lamat b'madregim Asrafim. So first of all, where is their world? Their world is not Elam Abriya, which is the Elam of understanding. Where is their world? Shemamodem b'Elam Asiyah. The lowest of the four worlds. That's their place. The Eifen Mekanan Basi, the wheels, is it the chariot? The wheels of the chariot is Elam Asiyah. The throne is Elam Habriya. And the body of the chariot is Elam HaYitzirah. And the old Damelian sitting upon the throne is where? Atzilus. Yeah, we're clear? Just the imagery. Yes. Okay, so let's go further. So in Elam HaAsiyah, a tremendous symptom there. There's not this understanding of the Eibishter. It's about commitment, behavior. Which is behavior, Maisa B'Peil, relatively speaking. That's the whole world. The whole world to begin with is not the world of understanding and not the world of feeling, but the world of service. The wheel of the chariot. Pashtas, the wheel says what? Now the chariot moves. The lowest level. Their avoid is not this love of like flames, tongues of fire, mitzad the girdle hasaga, which is engendered through a deep understanding. That's the avoid of who? Of the Serafim. That's like again, it's like the Maimir learning, the Ben and the Eved, the David and Shaul. David is like he found him in Shaul, the Serafim. Child versus servant. So there avoid I just said that. It's a submission. And that's the meaning of the circle. They are turning constantly. Like bowing your head into yourself. You bow your head. You're not standing when you surrender. You bow to someone. Not someone. You're not standing up. Right? That's seichel. Here, midas here. That's yosher. When you're bowing, you become like a circle. You're bowing your head. That's the avodah they found him. Their head is bowed to the faculties of action. So they're constantly in the spiritual state of the circle, can make fivas harosh, like the bowing of a head. That a person will acknowledge and thank his friend. I owe you, I thank you. You bow your head. By bowing his head, he's saying it's not what I'm doing now is not expressing seichel, it's surrender. This is not an intellectual expression, but acknowledgement. And that's what? Acknowledgement. Ella, we're following this. It's somewhat technical, but we get the general idea. Yeah, if you bow your head, you're not standing straight, that's Yosher. You're bowing your head. This is a circular model. What's that? You're not expressing intellect when you bow your head. What are you expressing? Surrender, devotion, thanks, bittul, haydo. Clear? That's the avodah of the Ifani. They don't have the great hasaga. Just a bottom line commitment and surrender. Of course, we'll see that it's higher. So it continues. Okay, maybe we'll stop here and we'll tell